Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am back here again with an amazing content for you guys. In my YouTube channel, I talk about God, motherhood, fun, friends, and relationship. And today I'm gonna walk with you my journey of pregnancy, how it started, nilijua aje, how did I take it, how did I tell my parents, how did I tell my friends. So that's what we are going to talk about today. So this is how it started. First of all, I manifested my baby. Have you ever manifested something? That is what I did. I manifested my baby girl and she came to pass. That is how manifestation can work. So apparently last year I started being obsessed with babies so much that you'll find me watching contents about babies, YouTube channel about babies, even ningefuata Instagram stories kama ya Milichebi, just watch Milimetai and things like that. And that's how one day I sat down and I wrote a prayer to God, telling God about my like how I want to have if one day for God to bless my home and give me a baby girl. Even I manifested the name apparently. So that's how how it worked actually. So I just told God, God, I come before you. I pray that may you one day bless my home. May I carry my baby for 9 months and being able to hold her, and may I be able to name her Briella. And that's what happened, you guys. So after that manifestation, I did it in May. And come to think about it, my baby was born in May. Isn't that beautiful? So I manifested her in May. Then now what happened? So of course nilimanifest na nikasahau hiyo story. Of course baby fever ikuisha. Baby fever tu bado ilikuwa. Of course nikiona watoto I'm like hiyo tu ka ish hiyo baby fever ishi na come. That's how it went. So how it happened in August, I remember I started feeling a hand pain, but nile like niko na pain kwa nerve and not na feel tu kwa nerve, but si eti nimegongwa na kitu. Of course nikasikia wiki ya kwanza I was like itaisha tu, hakuna haja nishughulike. Then that weekend I was going for a team building na job yangu. So that day when I wore my blouse, I realized mbona breasts zangu zinakaa ziko kubwa, but I was like you know what, I'm growing, nothing to worry about it. So me, I went for that team building. It was a team building, so of course they was vigorously exercise, things like that. So sasa nikiwa huko, that happened. Then when I came back, I realized I can't sleep using my left hand. Like every time natumia left hand yangu kulala, I feel so much pain. What's happening? Then that day I went to work. So that was on Monday. So when I was at work, we were like with my friend, who you're also going to know about, because this channel I'll tell you more about my friends. So nikiwa naye hapo nikaanza nikamwambia, by the way mimi period zangu zimechelewa, but zimechelewa tu na 2 days. So and then yake pia ilikuwa imechelewa with also some days. So we're like, hey, what if mmoja wetu ako pregnant? Just like that, we say it like that, and then tukaenda home. So the next day mi nikaona mi siwezi vumilia hii pain, maybe naweza endelea kuvumilia, and come to think about it, it might be something serious. So I decided, you know what, let me go to work, then I go to the hospital. So nikaenda hosi just in town. So when I reached the hospital, of course nikaenda nikafanyia story ya weight nini blood pressure, kila kitu. Then it was my time to see the doctor. So when I told the doctor my problem, so the doctor was like, when did you last get your periods? I'm like, sayo najuza kwa kichwa, how does my period relate to my hand? Is that even normal? And then nikamwambia tu imechelewa tu na 2 days. So she was like, you know what, Brenda, I cannot do anything unless I know if you are pregnant or not, because there's a medicine I cannot give you if you are pregnant, and there's a medicine, and even for your case we will have to do an x-ray, but if you are pregnant we cannot do an x-ray, we will have to look for another remedy. So nikamwambia, so she was like, you know what, you have to test. So at first nilikuwa nataka kukataa because I was like, sasa periods zangu zina relate aje na hii mkono yenye inaniuma? But I was like, you know what, let me go for it. So I went and tested. Then after that nikaambiwa ningoja after 15 minutes. So me I was there kwa waiting bench, nimekaa chini tu nikisikiza stuff zangu YouTube, nikisema you know what doc, hakuna kitu tapata, hakuna, yani hata siko nafikiria by the way ita turn out positive, even though I had that baby fever, but sikukuwa nafikiria ita turn positive by the way. So after 15 minutes ikuisha, 10 minutes the doctor comes and say calls out my name, naenda, and then she's like, you know what Brenda, congratulations, you are pregnant. Nakwambia, I stood at that point, hata sikuwa nimekaa chini by the way. Nilisimama tu hapo, I could not talk, I could not do anything. I'm just in my mind, is this reality? Am I dreaming? What's not happening? But of course, I breathed in and I was like, thank you, God. Because remember, I had manifested in May, so I was like, thank you, God. Yeah. So at that moment, so the doctor told me, now you see, we can't do an X-ray. I'll just have to give you some medication which will help your hand. And if by 1 week utakuwa umesikia any changes, you can come back. So I was like, and then she told me, you can sit down, relax, breathe in, breathe out. It's a good thing. Not all people carry pregnancy. So just be happy and thank God for it. Imagine she was so positive. Hadi akanipea your positive energy, because sasa mimi nilikuwa nimeanza sema, now where am I going to start? Yes, I was praying for this thing, but how am I going to go with it and all those kind of things. So nikakaa hapo. So of course, the first person to call was my best friend that we had talked yesterday evening. Hey, you know what? Unakuka tukisema jana moja yetu atakuwa pregnant. Mimi ndo niko pregnant. Nakwambia alisweat, hadi alishindwa kufanya kazi. Alikuwa like alinihurumia because we never saw it coming. Tulikuwa tunasema tu kama by the way. Of course, after that, I told other of my best friends. And for my parents, I just said I will just tell them, but not now. Even for my siblings and all that. So after that, I was like, you know what? Tomorrow I'll take an off to digest this news and to see where it goes and everything. So of course the next day I never went to work. So my other best friend anaitwa Irene, she already akona 3-year-old son by now. So when I told her, the next day she came to my house, she was so happy for me, and then we sat down there. Yeye hata ndo aliniguide, akaniambia sasa itabidi uende ununue pregnant care which utakuwa unameza kila usiku for almost like the entire pregnancy. Yani she directed me, she told me things to do. Before I forget, so after the doctor proved to me I'm pregnant, I never believed. You know what I did? I went to the chemist, I took 2 pregnancy tests, went home. I again nikatest. Ya kwanza turned out positive, bado sikuamini. Ya pili ika turn out positive. I was like, Brenda, this is it. Why are you looking for it? Unataka tena kwenda kununua ingine ya 3? Hapana, yes, kwa hivyo. Yeah, so that's hiyo ndio part nilikuwa nimesahau kuambia. So that's what happened. So I just became positive, and then you know the amazing thing, once you know you are pregnant, ndio hizo sa symptoms zinaanza sasa kutokezea out of nowhere. Unashangaa, unachoka, unafanya nini. I've heard actually from many people, the day una confirming uko pregnant, that is the day that the symptoms inaanza kutokea from nowhere, by the way. But apparently for me, I had unique symptoms. Mimi all my pregnancy sikukuwa na kitu inaitwa morning sickness. I never faced something like that. Sikukuwa na hiyo nausea ya kutapika. The nausea that I had is that nausea yenye unasikia uko na hiyo ka feeling mbaya kwa mdomo, but it does not come out like inabaki. But that is the most dangerous one, because hata utashindwa. So ungenipata niko na chewing gum, sweets and everything in my inaitwa aje kwa mfuko yangu, because that is what I used to survive on. Apart from that, I never had hiyo eti headache in the morning, vitu kama hizo. I never, hiyo kutematema mate, me I never experienced such things. For me it was that pain. So apparently I had to go to hospital early because of that hand pain, because the hand pain went all through mpaka ikanifika kwa miguu. Sometimes I will stand up na na feel siwezi tembea, ama na feel aka pain ile mbaya sana, ile I can't even do anything. So I really had to go back to, I went to hospital, and I was able to go and see the doctor. Of course, I did a lot of tests to get to know what's not up with me. I've never faced such a thing. And the doctor was like, unajua sometimes pregnancy inakuja na vitu yenye hata hujaijionea, and that was one of them. So after many tests, I came and noticed that I was low on calcium. So since the baby was growing, she was taking all my calcium. So instead I don't have calcium. Hey, nakwambia nilizisolve kwa hizo supu. Ungenipata mimi lunchtime ndio hiyo nimeenda tao place fulani kwenda kukunywa supu ndo nipate hiyo calcium. I'm not a milk person. I don't love milk that much. So that's why I resolved to the soup. Of course, I did nikafanya sa vitu kama soup was my main thing. But of course, I used to pray. I used to tell God, ai manzi, mimi historia, hii pain me don't want. Hii historia kwenda sijui kutafuta supu, sijui naambiwa nitafute hii, nifanye hii. Kila mtu tu akona Kenya anataka kuniambia mimi sitaki. So I just want this pain to go away. So every time that pain will come, I will say I am healed. So, and immediately by there I used to do like that, ningeanza feel the relievedness, like inaanza kuisha. Yeah. And so my first trimester was not easy for me. Let me tell you, I went from being a bubbly person to ule mtu mwenye amechoka like 24/7. Like nilikuwa nimechoka. Even at some point I never wanted my phone, I never wanted to chat. Yani ilinimaliza. And then another thing, it took away my appetite. For me eating was a struggle. Mimi ilikuwa ikifika saa ya kukula najiuliza hii saa tusipite, because I know I have to eat but sina hiyo appetite. Like hata vitu yenye even in my first trimester sikukuwa na much cravings, by the way, because now eating for me was a problem. Ningeletewa chakula hiyo chakula ningekula 5. Even my colleagues can attest to that. They even wondered what's wrong with me, mbona sikuli hivyo. And then I used to go to every week niko hospitali because of those kind of pains na vitu kama hiyo. And even at some point I really had to tell my boss, I really had to tell my supervisor, because now ilikuwa na miss job. I'm not working the way I'm used to working. Alafu unajua vitu kama hiyo of course zingeza leta shida if I don't speak up my mind and tell them what I'm going through. So that's basically how my first trimester was. Even ningefika home hata naweza lala hadi kwa mlango. I was that tired. Ninalala kwa gari, ninalala anywhere, usingizi. Even hata lunchtime ningefunga mlango yangu ofisi na nilale. I used to sleep so much. Yani I used to be so tired. I don't want anything. But now another thing with my pregnancy, kufika point ya kuchukia mtu, like ile tinachukia mtu sana. I used to like I don't want someone, hapana. I used, yani of course kuna kale tu kidogo but si sana. Like I just used to be, sometimes I'll be bubbly, sometimes narudi chini and all that. So that's basically how my first trimester was. And it was in my first trimester, by the way, that I now told my parents. Now let me tell you my kienyeji way that I did. Mimi sikungoja eti let me go and visit mom, visit my parents, or to tell them I'm pregnant. I just did it. I just took my phone. First of all, I told my sister. So when I told my sister was like, you need to tell mom and dad, because you know what if something happens to you? Tutajuaje? Si watashtuka washangae mbona uje waambia or something like that. So my sister is the one who insisted me of telling them, because me, I was planning get 3 months pregnant. Once I have the ultrasound, I will now share to them. But now sister yangu akuniweka, by the way. Let me tell you, every time she was telling me, you need to say it. So at the end of it all, nilishika tu simu and I was like, hey mom, how are you? I don't even know where the courage came from, because I was like, hey mom, uko aje? I want to tell you something. So my mom was like, okay, tell me what's up. So I told my mom, by the way, I'm pregnant. Just like that. And my mom was like, oh wow, congratulations. Of course she like apparently haikukuwa like ile hakuchukulia vibaya, and then like she was so positive about it, so she was like congratulations. Of course unajua after hapo tu wazazi wanataka kujua nani ni baba mtoto, you have to explain things like that, but of course I just had to do that, and I told them for me I'm happy and I'm going to carry on with this journey. And they were like, my mom was like, I'm going to support you in any way you want it. So of course my mom told my dad. So the next day my dad called me and he congratulated me and told me whatever I need, they're there for me and they will support me in any way. And for that I knew I have support of my parents, which is the most important thing in pregnancy. When you have the support of your parents, even other support doesn't matter, because they're the main people in your life in all through. Yeah, so that's how my first trimester was. Apart from that, I almost got hospitalized in my first trimester. That is, one day I was going to work, nimetoka tu home vizuri. When I'm going to alight the bus, a pain came from nowhere, and it was such a bad pain. Nikasema hii ni cramping kawaida, itaisha. So me went to work. Kufika kazi, I could not even stand, I could not sit down. Hata hiyo kulala nilijaribu, but it was too much. I just had to go to a nearby hospital. At first even I was afraid, is my baby okay? Am I okay? What's not happening? Let me tell you guys, I stayed in hospital from morning till evening. I even got almost hospitalized. It is just God. I can tell you, ni God. Maybe the pregnancy journey yangu all through ni God. So at that point nikiwa hapo Hosi, of course nikafanyiwa a lot of tests, wakafanya ultrasound, the baby was okay. It was just like it's something called PDI, PID or something like that, which is just a condition whereby some people get in their pregnancy, but at least ilijulikana mapema. So I was given the medicine, the pain was numbed, and then nikaenda home, nikapewa sick off for some time, so as for me to rest and all that. And also in my first trimester, let me not forget, I got this amazing book. Apparently I saw this book even before me confirming I was pregnant. So I was just going through Instagram stories, then I met this book, and then I was like, you know what, God, let me screenshot this book. When I get pregnant one day, I will go and buy this book. So immediately I knew I was pregnant. That is when I purchased this book. And I can tell you, this book is a book and a half. This book saw me all through my pregnancy, and I wrote every experience that even one day I will read to my daughter to tell her how I felt week 1, week 2. This book is such an amazing book. So that basically that's how my first trimester went. Coming to my second trimester, my energy yangu ilirudi from nowhere. So unaona ule mwenye alikuwa analala sana, hakukuwa bubbly, sikuwa nataka simu. Second trimester, I was over. I used to have another energy yenye hata sijui ilikuwa inatokea wapi. And then I used to do a lot of stuff. Ungenipata hata natembea, nafanya kila kitu. But imagine by that time, only watu wenye walikuwa wananijua closely ndio walikuwa wanajua niko pregnant, because my bump showed I think at third trimester, not even second. Second ilikuwa inaonekana, but ile tu mwenye angekuwa so careful ndio angerealize, ama mwenye nimemwambia, but in between in between haikukuwa inaonekana. By the ilikuja ikaonekana at 8 months. Hapo ndo sasa bump yangu ilionekana vizuri, but hii wakati ingine yote mimi ningetembea tu, hata watu hawakuwa wanajua, because one thing, my face never changed, my moods was just all, apart from first trimester nilikuwa poa, nilikuwa naongea, nilikuwa nafanya kila kitu. I was just me actually. So hata ingekuwa ngumu sana mtu kujua kama niko pregnant. But now in my second trimester, miguu sasa zilianza kufura actually. So from there on I said bye bye to closed shoes. I went now to wearing open shoes all through because of my leg kufura, even to a point watu walikuwa wananizanga blood pressure yako iko sawa kweli, but imagine my blood pressure used to be okay, sikukuwa na shida yote because I used to go to my gynecologist monthly. But then it was also in my second trimester that I got a gynecologist who now worked with me all through my journey. He's such a good gynecologist, and he was able to work with me all through. So every other month I used to go for my clinics. I was so consistent, let me tell you, with clinics, with taking that thing called pregnant care. Hey, I was so consistent, let me tell you. I never joked with any of it because I knew I want this baby and I want her to come healthy. I don't want her to have any problem. So I'm just going to be disciplined because this is the journey I am taking. Another thing, from the word go, I became so positive about my pregnancy, by the way. Unfortunately, I never had the support of the dad, but I was so positive in my journey. Like, I was like, you know what, even if I'm going to do this alone, I'm going to do it. And I thank God also, it's in my journey that my friends were there for me. It is them who took me to clinic, and I'm really grateful for such friends, for friends who just in their own way wataacha kazi yote yenye wanafanya kunipeleka clinic. They used to call me, they used to visit me. By the way, sikuwahi kosa support yao at all time. That's why you see, if you know me, you know how I talk much about my friends, because let me tell you, they are just a big blessing to me. Yeah, so that's how. So I used to go for clinics. It's also in my 5 months in pregnancy I knew the gender of my baby. Now about that, for the longest time I wanted my firstborn to be a baby girl. I don't know why. I'm not against boy child, but I really wanted my first baby to be a baby girl. So the moment I knew I was pregnant, I started now praying about the gender. I used to tell God, please God, I'm really trusting you for a baby girl, but also if it's a boy, I let me know how to accept it and to be able to know how to go about it. So one thing even that made me want to know the gender of my baby early was so that I can get into that acceptance. If it's not what it comes to be, I get into that acceptance. So by 5 months, I had asked about when mtu anajuanga gender ya mtoto lini. So of course watu wengi waliniambia between 5 or 6 months depending venye amekaa, but I was like, God, I want to finish 2022 knowing the gender of my baby, so that in January nikianza mwaka, I know how to go about it, and even when I start shopping, I know what to shop for. So yeah, so it's in the month of in December actually, I went with my friend Diana, and we were at that moment I asked my gynecologist, can I know the gender of my baby? So my gynecologist told me, yes, you can know. And apparently, coincidentally, that day I had worn a pink dress. Let me tell you how God works. Hey. So while I'm there now, the gynecologist akona, and then the gynecologist now told me, you know what, you're going to have a baby girl. Hey, I became so happy. That was prayer answered. Prayer answered. Imagine, that was how my prayer got answered. I was so happy knowing I'm going to have a baby girl. And even that day, alafu unajua, when I used to tell people about, by the way, my symptoms, many people used to say this is a boy, because number one, sura yangu haikuwa imeharibika, so people used to tell me venye sura ijaharibika, then we tujua huyu ni baby boy. And then venye uko bubbly, uko nini, and then like walikuwa nasema ingekuwa msichana angekuchokesha, sura ingeharibika, vitu kama hizo. But me, I used to tell them, you know what, me, I know it's a baby girl and I have faith it's gonna be a baby girl. Yeah, so that's how I proved them wrong, for those who said it's gonna be a baby boy. And even for now, I can tell someone, when you're pregnant, don't take those things. You just continue praying. If you want a baby girl, pray for that baby girl. If you want also a baby boy, pray for that baby boy. Hizi zingine zitaweza kuchanganyisha, by the way. It depends. I don't agree on those eti akiwa baby girl sijui mimba inakuanga aje, sijui akiwa baby boy. Me, I don't. And hata nili prove wrong to some people who said it was a baby boy. Yeah, so that's how I closed my December, knowing I'm going to carry a baby girl. Of course, I was so happy. I knew I'm going to shop for pink, pink, pink. Yeah, so that's because pink is actually my second favorite color, followed after red. So I knew this is it. This is how we are going. And then I used to like naanza kuimagine hizo pictures. We will twin together with beautiful dresses. Yeah, it was such an honor to know I'm going to carry a baby girl, by the way. So after that, so on to now 2023, which was this year. So of course I was bubbly. It's actually in 2023 that I went to different places. Mi by then nilikuwa Kigu njia, siwezi watanganya. Na mimba I was Kigu na njia. I think my baby wanted for us to go many places together. So apparently that was how it went actually. So I had a lot of energy. It's also actually in my third trimester that finally I revealed that I was pregnant, and I did it in my birthday, that was in March. And I now let out and I told people I'm pregnant. I've been like this for the longest time. Of course others were like, wow, nata venye uonekanangi, venye like hata uso yako ijaribika, umekari hii pregnancy na grace. Ni God. I can just say it was God. It was God all through my pregnancy. Yeah, it's actually in my pregnancy that really brought me closer to God, because he was the only one I could run to. Of course my parents were there, my friends were there, but unajua tu kuna ule mtu mwenye anakuunderstandingi, ule mtu mwenye anaona kilio yote yenye unalia, everything that you're going through and all that. So of course it was on God. Everything was on God. So it was in my third trimester that I planned for my baby moon. I was like, you know what, we are going to do this. I'm going to celebrate both my birthday and my baby moon. And then in January, I planned for a trip with my friends in Watamu. Most of you saw how it went. And that's how I went and celebrated my birthday, my baby moon with my friends. And it was such an honor. And that's when I revealed about my pregnancy. And it was such a good journey. Yeah, then after that, now my friend decided to surprise me with I don't even know what to say. It was such a big baby shower. Yani, hey, my friends came through. Of course, I used to tell them what I want in my baby shower, ile tu juju, but I never knew they will deliver. Hey, they delivered 101%. First the deco. How I wish ningekaa hapa to snippet to picha mwone venye ilienda, but it was such an amazing day. And do you know, it happened in 15th April, and then I got my baby in 15th May. Are you seeing, you people, are you seeing how these things are going? Because I'm feeling like, hey, how is it? I manifest my baby in May, I get my baby in May. My baby shower is being done in 15th April, I deliver in 15th May. Yeah, that's how it went, by the way. So I had such an amazing baby shower, graced with my family, with my best friends, and they really did an amazing job. Yeah, so after that, of course, it was now time for waiting. Where? Hey, now this is the place I can tell you, Miss Kwangi, I don't get anxious easily. But let me tell you, this time I got anxious. Yani hadi nilikuwa na feel nimechoka. Si tata nimechoka physically, nimechoka akili. Because my last session nilikuwa naambiwa mtoto anaweza kuja around April mwisho. Hadi nilikuwa nimesema akisi akuja at least 24th April ndo to shave 24th March, 24th April. So I was like that, and then I took an early leave at work. Mimi Easter ilipoisha hivi, mimi sikurudi kazi, knowing wacha niende nipumzike, within after some few weeks I'm going to get my baby. Hey, let me tell you, hapa ndo nasikianga wanasemanga God's time is the best. Unaweza kuwa na time yako, lakini kenye Mungu amepanga, hiyo ndo inafanyikanga, by the way. Yeah, so I waited and waited. Hey, hadi ilikuwa imefika point, asubuhi naamka najikeep busy, nita watch YouTube, nita watch movies, and then jioni nitaenda nitembee. I used to walk just for me to clear my head, niache kujipea anxiety atakuja lini. Alafu by the way, I wanted to go for normal. yeah, wanaitanga vaginal birth, walisema tuache kuita normal. Vaginal birth, I wanted to go for vaginal birth, and I knew if I want to go for that, I have to be fit. I have to walk a lot. I have to play na hiyo tumpira. I have to do a lot of things so that I can make a way, so that it can be easy for me being a first time mom. Of course, but by hasa venye niliona April imeisha and there is nothing. Of course, sasa unajua ukiamua go for vaginal, the only thing now utangojea hizo sign, water kubreak, vitu kama hiyo, upate labor pains, like ujuangi ita happen lini. Si kama CS utajua ni tarehe fulani na fulani na fulani, so after hiyo tu unakaa tu kingojea hiyo tarehe. So mimi hiyo time hata sikukuwa na hiyo kungojea hiyo, inaitwaje, kungojea hiyo tarehe. Nilikuwa tu like nangojea tu happen anytime. So that's why the anxiety and everything. Now I decided to watch delivery YouTube videos. Who's me? Hey, hata nikiambianga watu wanasemanga ulipata wapi hiyo courage? Yeah, I wanted to know what do I expect. Nisiende tuko sijui anything. So me I started watching. Nikawatch yote. Yes, vaginal. Hey, nikaona hakuna yenye iko na shortcut. Yote tu kuna consequences. Yote ni same. Hakuna, because hii ingine utasikia labor pain but after that healing ni haraka. Hii ingine hakuna labor pain but after hapo healing ni kitu ingine. So of course by that time I was like, you know what, God, now if it happens I go for CS, see me through. I started now praying in that direction. If it happens I go for vaginal, also see me through. And I will mention the things that I wanted God to see me through, by the way. Yeah, so actually for me personally, I believe in prayers. I am one person who prays even for the tiny little details. If you are my friend, you can attest to that. Mimi hata nitaombea ile vitu yenye mnaona si ya kuombewa, by the way. So me I used to pray for those details about my delivery story. So yeah, so that's how it went. And of course nikakuwa tu your patient. I used to sometimes even I used to get scared. Nilikuwa hadi na hiyo mafikira. I think it happens to all pregnant ladies, because you're like, what if I lose my life? What if we both lose our lives? Or what if this and this happen? Which is, it happens and it's normal, but that's the time now you need to go deep into prayers and to ask God to remove the fear, because it's not good to have fear. You have to have faith and hope in God in everything you do. So basically now that's how my pregnancy journey went, the 3 trimester. Yeah, you will know more in my delivery story. Thank you guys for being here. That has been my pregnancy story, and see you on the next video.